Well, hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Jeroen and Boilly at the bank. This time I'm fishing with my mate Jolle, and I'm doing my first vlog in English, especially for all you English guys out there, and I hope you enjoy it. And first we have a little intro, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing and where I'm fishing. Well, hello there. As you could see, we're already sitting in the tent. That's because normally I would start my videos with all the stuff still in the car or on a brolly. But yeah, this time it's really cold. It's already -4 degrees outside. And that's the reason why I first want to put up my stuff and get some heat in myself. I'm already preparing dinner also. As you can see, an easy meal from the Lidl. I believe you also have it there in England. And yeah, it's good and tasty, and it keeps us warm inside, and it's good to take care of the human inside also. And for the rest, we're fishing on a pretty big lake, about 170 acres. It's about 40 meters deep, and the reason why we choose such a big lake to fish with a lot of depth in it is because most of the other waters are frozen at the moment. Normally we also fish a lot of park waters, and here in Holland it's quite easy to fish different lakes because we don't have that much syndicate lakes or day ticket lakes like you out there have. Here it's just that you buy a license for a year, and you can fish a lot of waters that are open to the public. And yeah, that's why we don't have to worry that much about where we're gonna be fishing. Oh, pas op, pas op, pas op, pas op. Almost burnt my tent, my friend, because you heard a little beep. Don't hope it's a brim. Yeah, and that's why, or that's a little bit of a difference between England and Holland, I think. And yeah, I'll show you a little bit about the lake later, because now it's too dark. And for the rest, we started feeding Monday. I use an inflatable boat to feed. And on Wednesday evening I also went out to feed the fish a little bit. We're using a particle mix with a little bit of boilies in them, and I fed them about 2.5–3 kilos at the time. And that's because at this big lake we know that even in wintertime feeding can be really helpful, because there's quite a lot of carp in here. So yeah, we'll hope and see what will happen tonight and maybe tomorrow night. For all you English guys out there that also watched the vlog of Leon, as you can see, my dog is a little bit too big for my own stretch bed, so she has her own, and her own sleeping bag even, to keep warm in these winter conditions. And as you can see, she also really loves it. Well, time to hit the bed. Too bad, not a bait indication yet, or a single bleep or anything, but we're still hopeful that we're gonna have something tonight. Well, good morning guys. As you can see, we're still in the bed.
I did already popped out to take some video material of the beautiful morning we have, but it's still really cold and about -2 degrees at the moment. So yeah, I popped back in just to get myself some heat in. In about a half an hour I'm gonna get out again, so that I can check a little bit more of the water. I always have a little opening to see throughout the tent. Also because if the dog hears something, she's gonna go outside no matter if the tent is closed or not. So it's better to keep a small opening, I think. And yeah, first I'm gonna have myself a cup of coffee, and then I'm gonna show you a little bit more about the rigs and stuff I'm using, and how my approach is on this water. So I hope to see you soon.
Well, here I am again outside. It's now about 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the midday. And I just reeled in the rods, and I wanted to show you a little bit something about my bait presentation. I already showed you the presentation yesterday, and I'm gonna be fishing the same way. But because I'm fishing with one rod over a big embankment that's in the water, I'm using a polyball system, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about how I use this and what my thoughts are behind it to be using it. As you can see, a normal presentation, pop-up presentation again, with my lead, some lead core, or free fall in this case. And over here, when I'm putting my rod down, I'm gonna put a flying back lead on it, so that when this ball, that's the poly ball I'm using, lifts up my line, because I'm gonna drop this and this slides over my line to the top of the surface of the water. Then the little lead keeps my free fall a little bit more down to the bottom. And the system of the polyball is, because I'm fishing over an embankment, the line is first like this, going up, and then when I'm pulling in the rod a little bit to make my line tight, the polyball comes a little bit like this. Of course, it's about 7 or 8 meters high above where my lead is. And then when I'm having a fish or something, my line is still going up and over the embankment, and I'm not having any trouble with losing the fish on the bank, or my line rubbing against the bank. So that's the reason why I'm using this. At this particular spot, I had a lot of success with it, because before I was using this system, I was losing a lot of fish on the embankment because of line breaks. And then I started to use this, and since then almost every fish I caught on here really easily came out. And because, as you can see behind me, just turn around, there he is. I always use a boat to bring out my lines. It's pretty easily to put this whole system into place, and when I'm having a fish for playing it and stuff like that, I always just go into the boat right away, so I can go to my polyball, and from there I can really start to fight the fish. And yeah, as I said, I don't have any troubles with obstacles underneath the water. It's also really useful for when you're fishing near a lot of weeds, or maybe even fishing over a couple of branches that are in the water, or other obstacles. And yeah, for me it's a proven system. One thing you have to keep in mind while using it is that you better use braided line for it than a normal monofilament, because the ball slides up and down the line quite easily on a braided line. And the big advantage I think of it is that you lose a lot of bait registration because of the bowl. And with yeah, of course, with the braided line, you just get that little bit more detail when you're fishing a bigger distance. And I'm fishing about 80 to 100 meters out of the bank right here, so yeah, that's quite a lot of distance. And that's the reason I use the braided line also. So yeah, that's a little bit about the system I'm using here and the reasons why I'm using it. I hope you can do something with this information. And it's now time for me to put the rods back out, and I hope to see you again a little bit later with maybe a fish in my hand, because we're starting the second night already. And they still wonder why we go fishing even with this extreme cold. Because tonight it's gonna be -6 again. Hashtag loving it. Oh, nice, some supper for night number 2. We first, as a starter, had some yum yum noodle soupies. And now we're eating bacon strips, well boiled or well cooked, on a piece of Italian sandwich. And as a finish, we of course have a cup of coffee. So we'll survive this cold night too. And of course, we keep a little bit of ventilation open. As you can see, it's already quite clouded in the tent, but yeah, it's -4 outside, and inside it's now, let me check, where's the temperature gauge? There he is. Sorry. It's 6 degrees inside right now, so we're doing fine. Well, good morning guys, after another big ass blank night. Too bad nothing happened again, not even a single bleed, but hey, at least we tried and we had fun. It's time for us to make a last cup of coffee and some breakfast, and after that we're gonna pack up our stuff and head home for a warm shower, because I think we both can use that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video and hope you liked it that I tried it in English. Leave a comment in the section if you do, and please subscribe to my channel, and hope to see you next time on my next video vlog. Ciao.